Fortnite have made it harder than ever to hit Unreal Rank this season, and part of them doing that was bumping up the requirements to escape Diamond Rank, which could be why you're part of the 1 million players struggling to get out. But if you follow this 5-step formula that I, as well as every single player in Unreal Rank follows, you'll be able to not just escape Diamond Rank, but make it all the way to Unreal Rank in as short as today. I'm not only going to give you all the information you need, but also hop into a game to show you how easy it is to gain rank points by following this formula. Starting with Formula 1, the rank system. Before I talk you through how we can maximize our points, let's start off with the changes they made this season. As I mentioned a second ago, they've bumped up the requirements to hit Unreal Rank, starting off with the requirements to escape Diamond, Elite and Champion Rank, all being bumped up massively, combined with the fact consistency is more important than ever now, as Fortnite want players to play for endgame in rank, which is why you're seeing players like Bushcamp Dad hit Unreal Rank with just 3 kills, and this is the real secret to why you're not just struggling to rank up, but why you're struggling to gain points. When you're in gold or platinum rank, as long as you're picking up kills, you're gonna gain points, but the second you get to diamond rank, if you're not consistently getting good placements, well, Fortnite are gonna punish you for it, and they're gonna punish you hard due to something in the game known as the consistency bonus. This is where Fortnite reward players for playing consistent and getting endgame. This does not factor in your kills whatsoever, just your placement. As Fortnite assume, if you're living in games and you're making the higher places, like top 5 or top 3, you're too good for your current rank as you're surviving all the way to the end, which we can use to our advantage and try to maximize our points, which I'll tell you what to do when we get into off-spawn and mid-game, so we can use the consistency bonus to our advantage. But before I talk about that, I want to mention formula number 2, warm-up. This is so important. If you actually want to gain points in rank, I think this is something that is so overlooked. Spending just 10 to 15 minutes a day at the minimum warming up will put you in the same position as playing 3 hours of rank. But what I recommend is warming up for 30 to 45 minutes, which will put you in the same position as playing ranked for about 6 hours straight. Now just put that into consideration for a second. You can either spend 6 hours of playing ranked and losing points, or you could just spend 30 minutes to get to the same spot. This is why warming up, if you want to gain points, is so good. Not only does it train your aim, mechanics, and overall just makes you better at the game, but it also means you're going to maximize how many fights you're winning in the game, resulting in gaining more points, which is why you clicked on this video in the first place. Now, you can use any maps you like to warm up, but if you don't have any good maps to play, I even made my own warm-up map, which I originally set up just for me and some of my friends to use, where I just put every single warm-up scenario we all used into one big map. I then mentioned it in one of my videos once, and you guys absolutely loved it, and so many of you use this map every day. So if you are looking for a good warm-up map, type in Taven in the creative search bar and you'll see Taven's ultimate warm-up map. There's over like 25 different scenarios in there. I'm updating it all the time, so whether you use my map or someone else's, just make sure you're getting that warm-up in, as it is so important. Now moving on to formula number 3, off-spawn. This is probably the part of the game I get the most questions about, especially when it comes to ranked. People ask me where's the best place to land, as well as how you can win more fights, and I am actually going to release a video where I land at one drop spot for about 15 to 20 games straight in ranked, and give you guys as many off-spawn tips as I possibly can. So if you haven't already, double check you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that video, because over 95% of you guys that watch my videos aren't even subscribed. So I'll give you a second now to check, because it helps the channel out so much and supports me more than I can even explain in this video. And it's completely free for you guys as well, which is just a massive bonus. Now, when it comes to where to actually land in ranked, you can literally land anywhere on the map. I recommend finding a spot, just pick one spot on the map that you particularly like, and just master it. Remember earlier when I mentioned consistency is so important? This is where it starts. If you dive spawn multiple games in a row, you'll find 2 things happen. One is you lose more and more points for dying off spawn each time you die, but the other thing is you'll actually gain less points. Not many people know this, but yes, if you die off spawn 2 to 3 times in a row, even if you have a really good game, you will actually gain less points in that game. This is because consistency is the most important factor when we're looking to rank up. And if we mention that you gain less points for a kill off spawn, that means in all honesty, you're probably better off to land at a spot that has 0 to 1 players and live off spawn every game than you are to land at a spot with 3 to 5 players, win it with 3 kills only 50% of the time. Because in the long run, you will actually lose more points. Now, when it comes to winning fights, off spawn tends to come down to 3 really important factors. This is where you need to listen up and get the notepad and pen out because this is so important. These 3 factors are loot, health and height. These are the 3 advantages you can have on a player. Let's start off with loot. The better loot you have, the easier it is to win. Obviously, if you have a shotgun and they have an AR, you have a massive advantage in itself, which is why 2 things are important. 1, getting a good drop. The more you land at a spot, the more you're going to learn the best drop for landing there, as well as the loot route that will allow you to get as much loot as you can in the shortest time possible. This is why I recommend, mainly if you're going to learn a loot route, just go into replays of a solo cash cut finals game and watch where pro players land and loot at your drop spot, and then just copy that, because that will give you the best loot route for your spot to maximize how much loot you can get in a short amount of time. The other factor that will give us advantage off spawn is health. I think this kind of ties into loot and your loot route, because obviously the more chests you open, the more health you're going to get. But I think this is probably the biggest advantage when it comes to off spawn in Fortnite. If you're on 100 health and your opponent has 200, they will win any 50-50. Because think about going into a 50-50 fight with just 100 health compared to 200. It's kind of like entering a 30-70 instead of a 50-50. Just because your time to kill is going to be so much shorter for them than it is for you to kill them. So either it's going to require some really, really poor loot or some really bad aim to kill you in this situation. In fact, you could even have a purple shotgun and 100 health against a player with 200 health and SMG, and I'd back the guy with the SMG every single time just because of his health. So if that doesn't show how important the health advantage is, I don't know what will. So look at your drop spot. Is there slurp barrels at your spot that could guarantee you an extra bit of health, or slurp truck? As these things are so important to look at, as health is probably the biggest factor of spawn, especially as most of your fights will be 50-50. And the final advantage is high ground. It's simple. If you have high ground, you control the fight. So it's important to find ways to maximize your mats in the shortest time possible, or even land at a higher point of your drop spot to ensure you're looking down on players. This doesn't just make it easy for you to hit high damage shots, but allows you to control everything going on in the fight, meaning you're the player applying the pressure and controlling the tempo. Now you're winning off spawn and know how important your drop spot is, let's get onto formula number 4, and this is mid game. At this point, it can be so easy for you to run off and try and W-key absolutely everyone you see and go for a 20 bomb like you see all your favourite pros do. But if we're being realistic here, this is the worst thing you could possibly do. The best thing you can do if you want to actually gain points at this point is fight players till you have good enough loot to win the game. You should be really picky with the fights you're taking, and should preferably only take them if you have a big health advantage or some sort of advantage in the fight. Maybe you beam the player or your third part in a fight that just finished. Make sure you're going into a fight with some sort of advantage if possible, not just brain dead running into players, as this is how we die. And remember what I said before, how important consistency is. We do actually gain a few more points in mid game compared to off spawn, but the actual amount is not a whole lot until you get to top 25. So here is my big tip for W keying in mid game. If you get a kill before top 25 in mid game, you'll probably gain 2% points, which just isn't worth fighting. It's not worth risking everything for it, especially with placement on the line. But get a kill after top 25 and you're looking to gain about 5% point. So you're getting over double the points for getting a kill after top 25. So while you wait for the top 25 mark, go and loot the sprite spawns, go and do some other stuff. You do actually get points for objectives as well, so getting something like the Sprite will probably give you 2 to 3% rank point. So look for those fights towards the end of mid game after top 25 going into end game, as this is going to allow you to maximize the points you get for winning fight. This is the main part most people need to work on, learning to fight. So make sure you're playing a ton of 1v1s, a ton of box fights. In fact, I even made a video where I won over 500 box fight 1v1s and leaked everything I learned, and there are a ton of mid-game tips in there, so check it out if you're struggling with mid-game fighting. Now, once you made it through mid-game, before I show everything I explained in the video in a ranked game, we need to talk about formula number 5, and that is endgame. This for me has always been horrible, because they reward you the most for getting kills here, but a death early on in endgame will actually punish you a lot more than just survive it. There are a lot of placement points in the end game, so the strategy to maximize your points is camp and play for placement until you're around top 5, maybe top 6 left in the game, in which case you want to W key and try and get the rest of the kills left. This is because you'll get rewarded ridiculous amount of points for getting kills after top 5. That way we can maximize the placement points, but also look to get them kill points, which reward you a lot in endgame. Now you know my 5-step secret formula. Let's hop into a ranked game and I'll show you exactly how to play, implementing all of this I've told you to try and maximize how many points you get. So I'm in a ranked game now. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to try and maximize the amount of points you get in a single game. Now the first thing you need is a really good drop spot. Like I said before, you can land anywhere. I'm going to personally land at Warriors Watch because I've landed here roughly around 15 to 20 games straight now. I've got a really good loot out for this spot, and I've mastered the drops as well to land here. You can land anywhere. You can land at a POI like myself, or you could land somewhere simple as just this gas station here. As I said before, it's so important to make sure you're living. If I'm constantly dying here, then in all honesty, I'd probably be better off to land at that gas station than I would to die constantly at this spot. Now, we are contested by a couple players, which should be good because I'll be able to give you guys some off-spawn tips. But my first one is make sure you've got a good loot route that's going to give you lots and lots of loot straight away. We might even be able to get a shot on this guy. There we go, big beam. There we go. We managed to get the kill just like that. But straight away, what you see is me having a better drop there has got me that kill. Already straight away, if we had someone in this building with me, I will have a purple shotgun, SMG, use this splash, and near enough 100 as well with a spare mini. Now, as soon as you get yourself a little bit loot like I have, ignore the rest of the chest for a second and get your mats up. This is so important for the game because winning off spawn will just be a big 50-50. And the way we can reduce our 50-50s is obviously by having better loot, more health, but also by having more mats, which is so important, because if we don't have mats, we are forcing ourselves into a 50-50, and it also means we're not going to be able to control the fight as much. When going into off-spawn fights, the ideal amount of mats you want to have is at least 500 in total. So you can have 100 wood, 100 brick, and 300 metal. That all equal up to 500 total mats. As long as you've got at least 500 where you can, preferably, or as close as you can to it, you'll have enough mats to make boxes, go for high ground, and you shouldn't run out of mats. Now, I've just finished coming out of Warriors Watch now, and in all honesty, I've got good enough loot probably to win the game without taking any fights. But obviously, I want to show you guys some mid-game tips and sort of how to win fights so you can win the game, and I could do with a little bit of extra metal. But my first tip when you're in this area here is avoid fighting till top 25. You heard me say it earlier in the video, and we've got 34 players currently alive, so preferably at a choice, I do not want to fight anyone here. Now, I have just been beamed here, and whenever you're in a situation like this, make lots of room. Now, I'm quite a bit low now, so I'm going to make room, I'm going to get some shields off, and I'm just going to chill out. Look, this guy's looking to beam me. Lots of room, and wait for the mistakes, because players will make mistakes. Now, this guy's low, actually, like really low, so we could potentially look to get in his box. Right, we're just going to chill out. I've got that big shot off on him. We're just going to wait for a mistake. This is the best thing about being in a box, is you can wait for that. Just like that. I waited for a mistake. Eventually, people make one. Whenever you're in a box, people get greedy and they make mistakes. It happens all the time. Now, I'm going to put some pressure on him here. Try to predict where he's going to go. There we go. And I finished him up. Look how easy that fight was. Both of those fights. Make yourself a little bit of room when you're in fights, especially when you're low, and just wait for mistakes. It's really that simple to win fights, especially in ranked. Rather than trying to dictate the flow of the fight all the time, sometimes you can literally just sit back and let people do the work, and then obviously you can just counter what they're going to do. This is what fighting's all about. It's about going up to your opponent, putting some pressure onto them, see what they do, and just play off what they do, rather than just being brain dead and just W-keying people and doing silly plays for the sake of it. Now, it looks like none of these players either had literally any metal, so we are going to have to get into another fight if we want to win this game. And I'll show you what to do when you're looking around to try and fight players. Obviously, we're after the top 25 part, and we're even coming up to top 15 now, where you actually get more points for getting a kill after top 15 as well. Now, the first thing you want to do is get yourself towards the center area zone. This will just put you in a good position to look around. There is a player actually here shooting me, and he's already got a shot off on me, so we could potentially look to box and just see what he does. See, he's kind of waiting for me to make a play. Now, he's hit me for even more damage, so we're just going to chill out here. Actually, I'm going to make an L-shaped box. And we're just going to chill, and we're going to see what he does. Now, he's actually fighting really well. We're going to make a little bit more room. Just going to chill out. We're kind of waiting for the mistakes to happen. Remember, if you've got an Omni Mask as well, you can always use that at any point. He's going to use his sword, I'm pretty sure. Oh, shoot. We've just been beamed in the back. 95. Oh, I knew he was going to edit that as well. But we'll just chill out again. Get into my cone. There we go. The guys rushed me, and obviously I had a bit better aim than he obviously does. Hit him with the pre-fire. We're going to just put some pressure on him. See what he does. Can use the Omni Mask as well. You want to play it slow. See what he does. He's coming out the side. There we go. Just predict him. Just read what they're going to do. And they're so easy to win fights. Like, you really don't need to do anything special to try and win fights. Now, we are low on health, so I'm probably going to relax now till around top 5 or so. See if I could try get some meds. Because this is where you're going to get the most placement points. Because the worst thing I could do is if I die now, which is quite likely, especially with my health if I get in a fight, I'm going to miss out on all those placement points that you're going to get for top 8, top 7, top 6. So instead, I'm much better off to chill out, play a bit more passive, and see if I can get some meds from somewhere. Now, here's a top tip if you have a Sprite like I have. I've only got one left. If you actually return it, you'll get yourself around 2 to 3% rank points, but it'll also return a brand new one with 3 charges again. So it's always worth returning the sprites for the rank points. There we go. We got a big pot. When I pick him up, this guy will be returned back to 3 charges again. Now, there's 8 players left at the moment. I've got myself really, really good loot to win the game. I could probably kill the remaining players, but I don't want to risk anything too early on coming into this end game. I'm going to wait till around 6 players left, and then I'm going to go out and see if I can get some kills. So we'll leave this guy for now, unless there's like a really obvious beam I can obviously get on him. There we go. I hit him 63. Okay, we'll chill out. We'll chill out. We'll see if I can get like a bigger beam, maybe over 100 or so. This player doesn't seem very great. He's making a bit of a like weird wooden box. I'm going to wait out a little bit and I'll push him around the top 6 mark. Right, I'm going to W-key him, I think, because he doesn't seem very great. There we go. And I got a crack. And let's just watch what he does. It looks like he's trying to get aggressive on me. And we're going to get another player come fight us. So we're just going to make some space here. And he's looking to try and get in my box for some reason. Oh, again, we're just going to chill out. Make some room. Free fire. There we go. And we got the kill on him. It's really that simple, the game is, to get kills when you just watch what the other players do and just counter them. That's all you have to do. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to do anything special. Just look at the other players, see what they're doing, and just do something off that. There's 3 other players left now, and you just saw how easy it was. That guy was obviously a decent player. You could see how aggressive he was getting. He was very confident. He's probably a decent fighter. And if I go back and replays, I'll probably see that he had quite a few kills. So we're going to get the zone somewhat early. 198. Now, we're not even going to look to use the shotgun there, just use the AR, just because he was, like, really low. One shot was going to kill him. That was quite an easy kill to get, and we're just going to sit here, and we're going to look for the other players, see if we can find them. Okay, so zone pulls that way. Really simple here. I'm just going to rotate early, because then I can obviously hold everyone. And we're going to try and locate where these 2 players are. I know there's one there. Okay, there's a player there on my left as well. Those 2 players are fighting, so I'm going to kind of let them just battle it out for a bit, and then see if I could just get some damage as a third party. Again, get ahead of zones here. The best case scenario for me is these 2 to battle it out. I know this guy's already been lit up a bit, so I'm going to try to beam this guy as well. Okay, so it's just a 1v1 now. I'm ahead in the zone. And again, we're just going to see what he does. He's in a double box. Now, I haven't hit him at all, so there's no reason for me to get aggressive on his walls. 33, 66. We read him really well, but he got the wall. He's hit me for a big pump shot. There we go. And we got the shot, and we managed to win the game. You can really see, I wasn't even set out to win this game here. I was just set out to show you how easy it can be to actually gain points in the game when you play like this. And we got a 9-kill win just off doing this strategy. There we go. And just like that, we have gained a ton of points. 24% points from one game playing like this. I didn't really do anything too advanced. We obviously got that kill really early on off spawn, and I literally just got that by having a better drop than him, knowing my drop spot. I didn't do anything advanced there, nothing over the top, nothing fancy, and then we just wait till top 25. Obviously we got W keyed a bit, so we made the room, and when I did get a kill just before, but I picked up that kill, picked up another, and then I went for as many kills as I could, obviously from around the top 6 mark, and I near enough killed every single player, and we managed to get a 9-kill win from this strat. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you did enjoy or found something useful, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much, and as a thank you, I'm going to respond to every single comment down below. And if you like this video, you may also like this video on screen now.